this was a perfect opportunity to reset the fight. This is going to be one of the hardest things for you to beat. This is going to be the hardest thing in your career to conquer, but once you conquered it, you're going to shoot past Radiant. You're going to be ready to go. You'll be one of the top players in the game. What's happening here is you're falling victim to something called cat protocol. You see an opportunity, you see something shiny, and you chase after it. No different than when a cat has a laser shown to him onto a wall. What does a cat normally do? Chase after it. This is what you're doing right here. This fight is disadvantageous to you. Why do you think it is?
Because I'm holding an angle and they can swing as wide as they want or as close as they want.
That's one. What else?
Possibly Peeker's advantage.
Peeker's advantage, that's two. Third one?
Crosshair placement is off.
Beautiful. All three are against you. He's peeking out into you. If on the initial peek, your crosshair placement is not perfect, your immediate response is to get behind natural cover and then re-swing into this. You can practice this physically in a deathmatch and just keep taking those kinds of fights. You should always be near natural cover to get away from it. You have a beautiful ability that you just popped that can easily dash you to the right and reset this fight into the Sova. And you will have Peeker's advantage, you'll have crosshair placement, you'll be in a much better place to be able to win the fight. Can you still lose it? 100%. There's a lot of crazy things that will happen in this game. But I will tell you right now, you chasing after it in this brief second right here, you have to adjust. You have to stand still, which I don't think you fully did properly. And then you still have to hit your shot while he's swinging out into you. He has all the advantages. This is why you lose this gunfight. Hello, my name is Worthy, a professional Valorant coach. If you're looking to climb the ranks and improve your overall gameplay, you definitely want to leave a like and a sub and enjoy the video. The first two things I noticed right away, if you look at your minimap, you're not fully zoomed out. You can't see the entire thing. What I recommend is having the minimap centered, not on the player, but just centered, and just work with that. It might take some adjustment, but ultimately, you seeing more information of the map is more important. It's not the worst one I've ever seen, but it's definitely going to come into situations where you won't be able to see everything. The next thing that I look at too is shooting error on the right. If you really want to perfect your gunfights, perfect your crosshair placement, perfect your movement, you want to get feedback on the fights that you take, because there's going to be times where you take a gunfight and you're sitting there going like, what the f, I was totally standing still. But if you look over to the right and you have shooting error graph set on, it'll confirm for you that the game did not register you as standing still, right? So you'll be able to take away a lot of the blame. All right, round 4, we're going to be looking at individual stuff with resetting your gunfights.
The generalized statement of resetting my gunfights is something that I struggle with a lot. I commit too hard with my gunfights. I crouch stray and it fucks me over more times than it actually pays off.
So we can talk about crouching, which doesn't happen in this fight. I don't think we'll watch it again, but with crouching, there's probably others, but there's only really 2 acceptable times you can crouch. There's 2 rules I usually go off of. We just went over a third one, which is like spray transferring, which doesn't happen a whole lot, but when it does happen, then obviously you have to do what you gotta do. For example, if someone's going to swing on you and they know where you are, you can change the positioning of where your head level is going to be if you start with the crouch. This comes from both peeking out into them or having them peek into you. So for example, if you're holding right side titty for us and we're peeking out on cave, if you're crouched against the right titty, his crosshair placement might be at a normal head level when he peeks out from cave, and then he has to adjust. Or if you're peeking out into that person, you peek out in a diagonal motion downward as you're crouching, basically. Crouching to start a fight is acceptable. And from there, you can also stand back up and change your make them change their crosshair placement again, because now your head is higher up, right? So you can play around with that as well. So this next round we're going to look at is about staying focused and action comms. Now the first thing that's really simple is I want you to get into the habit of staying in the game at every moment. That means no alt tabbing, that means no checking your Discord messages, that means no pausing yourself in the middle of nowhere and checking your phone, anything like that. Because as soon as you do that, you take yourself away from any opportunity of you getting into flow state. It's just eliminated. See, as soon as you do this, you're not even focused on the game anymore. Every second that you spend in buy phase is important to setting up your visualization and your success in that round. No different than what you should be doing as an entry fragger. You go to the barrier, you visualize where your first fight's going to be and how you're going to peak it. And then you also want to visualize yourself shooting that person in the head, right? So if you've been there before, it's something that Olympic athletes will do. If you've been in the stadium you're competing in, for example, and you've walked around the track, and you've gotten used to what it looks like in there, what the feeling's like, what the emotions of having been on that stage, you're going to be more successful going into that particular event. no different than what you'd be doing when you're about to go into a fight, right? If you can visualize that success and you peek out into it, you are going to have that much more levels of success when you're actually playing the game. So there's so much stuff that needs to be done in a buy phase. You cannot afford to alt tab at any point in time. You cannot afford to check your phone, nothing. You have to be in the game at all moments, okay? Look at how you peek this angle.
Just go wide.
Yeah, you just swing it wildly, right? This is where I was talking about, you know, the pivot peek. It's like stop here for a second and then swing out. Give yourself a chance to hit this shot. Give yourself a chance to peek it properly. And I get it, you have a dash, that's fine. But you can still peek this with more intention. So my advice for you is to slow down, reset yourself on every single round, because every round is a brand new game. Slow down and breathe. Take a breath, relax, reset for this game right here. All the past games, the last ones, the last 5 that we played, they don't matter anymore. All that matters is being right here, right now. Yeah, he's saying, fuck it, we ball and just peeking. Yeah, you're right, Peppa. Fuck it, we ball.
He's close right.
Yeah, and I think this is because you're mentally like tilted at this point. Yeah, there's no need to be checking the wall. You can be checking that spot. This doesn't hurt you to do that. And it's funny because as I was making notes, I was just going to say, man, imagine he's on your right. You're going to tilt so freaking hard. And he was.
Just being stupid in that situation.
Yeah, so it comes down to what's your job in this comp, right? So as an entry fragger or the second person in, because the drone should be going in first, what is your job as a duelist?
Make space and to clear angles.
Make space and clear the threat angles. Yeah, you're the first one and you clear the threat angles. So that corner was a threat angle that you decided not to check and you got punished for it, regardless of any Sova dart. Could Sova have darted it for you? Absolutely, 100%. But
would have tagged him and I would have died from behind.
Yeah, maybe if you did it earlier, could have gotten him.
He ended up losing to Omnipotent.
All right, so Moxie and Dink, you also can rate this peak out of 10.
Okay, out of 10?
Yeah, we got another one. That's
What
it.
the hell are you doing?
Contemplation.
Rate it out of 10, Moxie.
Wondering what I'm doing with my life.
Moxie, rate it out of 10.
-1.
If it's that low, why?
My only contingency is my jet dash, and I know my reaction time is not fast enough to actually hit that before I die. And I'm just dry peeking it. I'm not playing off of any util, nothing. Like, it's just, I wouldn't say it's like a -1. It's like maybe a 0.
Okay.
But still.
I liked the negative to start. Let me go back and then let me walk you through this peak. I think it needs to be lower than the negative number you gave. First of all, you're looking into a wall. You're admiring the decor. Okay. You are peeking this with multiple direction keys. You have popped your jet dash, so you're going to lose value on this at some point if you don't use it. Rate this peak out of 10.
0. I mean, and my crosshair placement's off. I'm going for it. The dart's scanning me. I'm fucked.
This is not good.
This is why we didn't win MEL.
Yeah. This is rough. All right, so in this peak, who are you trying to shoot?
Casper.
You didn't know this person was here either, so you can't even say that that person was going to be someone that you were going to crosshair place either. So you were aiming at his kneecap. You swung this with multiple direction keys, and you kind of walked out on the angle as well. Watch it again. Okay.
Kind of. I fucking slow walked around.
Like, this is 2 fights here
You're still looking at the
you're
wall.
still staring at the wall.
You didn't even look at mid doors at all.
This is what I'm saying. Like, I know, like, I'm just mentally checked out at this point, and like that's my issue. I just like, I'm not that stupid. I hope.
No, you're not. You're definitely upset, right? You're emotionally compromised, for sure. Hands down, no question. I need to ask you, first of all, if you bring that number to that low, if your number is that low, first question is why? That's what the thing that you need to ask yourself. And the second question you need to ask yourself is, what do I need to do to make this particular peak or these 2 peaks 10 out of 10? And whatever that answer is, you need to go out and do it.
Just take a pause before I swing. Anything. Set my crosshair up. Know where I'm swinging. Stop aiming at the fucking wall.
So what you need to do is you need to tell yourself at the beginning of every round to reset.
You are now
You
listening
need
to Strawberry Station.